In a previous video, you watched me paint this chippy, antiqued, distressed background, and today I'm going to show you what I'm going to paint to put on top. Okay, so there is a Highland Cow craze that has been going in home decor for the last, I don't know, year and a half. And so today we have stencils, we have cutouts. We are going to do a Highland Cow to go on top of this. What we decided to do was to have a little bit of pattern. We're going to lay our raised cutout wood over this band right here, and we're going to put pattern underneath it. And then we're going to have our wood cutout down here hanging slightly off of the piece. And I think that's just going to give it a really cool 3D effect, and I think it's going to look fantastic. Okay, so pattern first. So we'll get it centered. We're going to want probably jumbo dauber or a ruler, but I think because this is narrower, I think I'll do better with the jumbo dauber. We're going to go with this number 13 gray. I actually am going to change my mind. I'm going to go with a dome brush because I want to control the amount of busyness, because this is already a super busy background. I don't want it dark, I don't want it strong, I want it in the background. I can't get my thumb out. Okay, so we'll line up our stencil, evenly banding. I love the tape trick where you put a piece of tape on two sides. I'm going to go ahead and do it across this hole right here. And then I can use the tape to move my stencil around. Okay, so now we'll go with our color. And we're going to do a little test. Oh, one thing that I did, this is a super important trick. I have a beautiful area that looks super rich on my surface right here. It just has a gorgeous tone and color. I love everything about it. I don't have one really over and down here. And if I'm going to put Mr. Cow, Mr. Highland Cow, I would have been able to see it there, but I like anchoring it because this is heavy. I like that anchor up there. So be careful when you have something that you like that you're not going to cover it up with your painting techniques. All right. So we'll go over here in this corner and we're going to test and see if we like it. And we'll lift and see. Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. Then I'm going to hold my stencil down because this is long and skinny, and I've only got two little pieces of tape holding it. I love our banding stencils. We have so many patterns to choose from. If you go to StudioR12.com, you can choose from 7,000 stencils. We have so many. It's so great. I love it. Okay, let's take a look and see. I'm going to try to hold this down, lift this off. Yeah, look how cool that is. I'm trying to decide if I want it darker. Okay, well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off. I'm going to pop this on. It's just got that little bit of pattern back there. I think it's okay. I think that'll be good. You could do this technique across all of your boards. I think that would not look bad either. I think it would look very, very interesting. But this is a neat way to get a pretend chipped look with a stencil laying over the chipping. So everywhere where I have the chipping, the gray isn't really showing. So it looks like the chipping happened with that pattern already on there. That's just kind of neat. Okay, so next we're going to go into a jumbo dauber and we are going to paint our lettering. The lettering is going to be in one of our browns here. And we always offload. So we're gonna load and then offload. We don't want it dripping all over the edges. The jumbo daubers are amazing for getting your paint on a raised letter. And these raised letters, we have all kinds of letters, all kinds of phrases, all kinds of things. They're incredible. There was a trend that started like 2 years ago where we have thankful and blessed and all of those things, and they were putting them across the dinner plates for like a holiday meal and stuff. They looked really good. Just a different effect. Okay, so there's a nice brown, like it. All right, next we're gonna paint our Highland Cow head. And I think I'm gonna mix a little bit of number 17 with number 28. So black with this dark brown. All right, I changed my mind. I think I'm gonna try staining because the stains are super rich color. So I'm gonna use Legacy Brown and I'm gonna put just a touch of black. And this is our water-based stains. And that is, Legacy Brown is 1056 and the classic black is 1185. All right, so we're gonna use our foam brush. We're gonna use our stain mix. Ooh, that's nice and rich. If you guys haven't tried those Minwax water-based stains, you need to try them. They're really incredible. I'm gonna go ahead while I'm fresh enough and wipe that back to warm it up. Look at how pretty that is. You know what would be really cool in there is to do just a little bit of an orange color to give it like a warm, beastie coloring. You could totally have a Highland Cow palette. All right, that's lovely. I'm super satisfied with this. Was gonna be too milky looking, and this turned out super rich and dark. I like it. All right, we have a stencil for this. This was something that we really wanted to have. It's something that would make it really easy. Our stencil set comes in a 2-piece set. So you can do this, if you don't want to buy the wood cutout, then you can buy the set that has the hole and has the fur. Okay, so you can do both. Well, it comes with both. Okay, and then you're gonna lay your stencil over the top, line up those horns, and then sometimes your stencil falls or flops because it's raised up, and then that can make things open. It's not actually doing that too much, but I like it better when I have an even platform. So I just have a couple blocks. These are coasters, just a couple blocks of wood that I can use to even that out, and it won't be all catchy and everything. To mix my orange, I did number 9 plus this, plus 79, plus a little bit of this black mix that I did with the black and the earlier mix that I didn't use and used the stain instead. And then I have number 8 and I have number 17. So we are gonna start with number 17. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just put on some swishes and swirls of fur. And you can leave it streaky and streak with the shape of the stencil. So you can actually have your brush have a little bit of paint on it. Okay, that's his eye, so that needs to get black. Okay, now I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the orange in my dirty brush, and I'm just gonna streak right on top here and there. Then I'll pick up some of the yellow. It's gonna be a highlight. Let's It's not reading very yellow right now. So I'm making sure to have streakiness show. And I'm not trying to cover up all that last color. Now I need to get that black, and actually I'm going to do his nose first. So I'm going to switch to that mix with number 22, dirty brush into that, and get a kind of just a Caucasian flesh kind of moment going for his nostril. And then we need his eye black. And then let's go ahead, while we have some of that black in our brush, let's take our tape away and let's go ahead and shade by rubbing. So I brushed off, and I'm going to rub at the base, and then I'm going to rub along the antlers or the horns. And we're going to take the stencil away in a second anyway, so. And then maybe a little bit of a highlight with my dirty brush from the nose, straight up the middle. Ah, cool. Okay, so now I think we have to add a little bit of song and dance. We're gonna get the White Wonder brush, and we're gonna add some streaks of some colors. So I'm gonna get water on my brush. I'm gonna get this brown, and I'm gonna do like a Santa Claus beard. Okay, so you can tap it just a little bit, and then we'll just go ahead and just add just a little bit more of our movement, just to give it a little bit more shagginess. So you'll use the template that the stencil gave you, and then you make it messier. Okay, now we'll go into a little bit of this orange color. Do the same thing. So now I'm just chiseled my brush on the chisel to get some like accenty hairs. Sorry, you can always tell when I'm thinking because I stopped talking. So you notice I'm using just a little swooping motion. I go in like I'm gonna land a plane. They used to call them touch and goes, I think. And you dip down, lift off, do it again. So it's like a little bit of a whisking kind of motion. So that is the movement. And then I'm trying to keep the movements round. I'm trying to make them flow. Some are chisel, some are on the hairy side of the brush. Okay, then we pick up a little bit of the yellow, running out of room. It's kind of dirty brushing down here with these other colors. So the number 44, this mix that I did with the orange and the brown, or brown and cream. And so it's in the middle of those. This will be your highlight color. Mix a little bit of number 22 in there. And what do we say in hairdressing, right? That's the money spot. So you want to give it that little highlight right where it's going to count. All right. For his eyeball, I'm going to grab, this is a Mighty Fine liner, and it is mighty and fine. I'm going to take number 22, and we're just going to go ahead and give him a little reflecty eye thing. Okay, so our horns are shaded. We need to get our nose done. I'm trying to use all dome brushes so that it's easy for you to do. So I'm trying to do any shading and highlighting with the domes instead of with flats. So we'll give his little muzzle a highlight up the middle. And then we need to pink him up just a little bit. So I think we'll, maybe not orange, maybe this little tuck right there. So I dirty brush had 22, and then I had the corner of the mix that had a little bit of the orange showing. So I'm going to put my stencil back over. And just pink him up just a touch. Okay, and then maybe a little bit of that pink up there, just to carry the color around. I want to use a black to shade his nostrils. I want his little eye to stick out a little bit more. And we could take, while we have the black and a small brush, we could build our shadow up here. And I think the way that I'm going to make that eye pop out is I'm going to need to give it a little bit of just a liner detail of a lighter brown. So just come along the edge. And give it a little bit more definition. That looks okay, good. I think he's maybe just a little bit too bright, and smudge him up a little bit. Not so bright. I'm gonna stop for a second. I'm gonna go look at him upside down, and I'm gonna see what corrections I need to make. All right, so big trick, either take a picture of what you're painting, and when it's loose like this, so you want to be able to see it objectively. It's really hard to see things clearly if you can't get distance from it. So either I'll put it across the room, I'll take a picture of it and flip the picture upside down, I'll set it in a room and set it upside down, and then you can also do the squint trick. So the squint trick will show you like where things are out of place. Very handy to have. I've decided to go a little wilder with my fur. So I'm gonna get some of this brown. I'm using a water the same as my White Wonder in a round brush. I'm gonna blot that. And then I've got some blank spaces here. So I'll just fill in just a little bit more. And if they're too blunt where they start, you can just blot them like I just did. Now we'll pick up, rinse my brush out, pick up a little of this orange mix, blot. Now we're doing highlights. Okay, now we go into the yellow, give him some highlights. So when you get a straight one, now some of these hairs are super like jangly looking and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna be too picky. If I was painting a Santa Claus, I would take that straight one away. But Santa, this is not. I'm gonna reinforce his eye down there. A lot of this is where your project is turned. So make sure you turn your project so that your arm or your hand can do an appropriate direction. Okay, we'll go into his little beardy facey thing here and give him almost like a whisker. Rinse that brush out. Don't put these in water and leave them. Any fine brush, any of the Taklon brushes, you don't want to do that with. Okay, we talked about doing just a little bit more muzzle color around his nostrils. All right, so now we have all of our pieces painted, and now we just need to connect them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our word on first. I don't wax when I am going to be gluing things on top, so that is very important. If you wanna seal your board, you can use a spray sealer once we do all of this like connecty pants stuff. So I'm just gonna take the Aleene's Quick and Dry Tacky Glue. I love that it goes down on its nose like that, and that means it's always ready to glue. It's always got glue down at the nose. We use this for all of our 3D pieces. It works fantastically. Okay, then we flip that over and we guesstimate. Okay. Want his horns about the same distance. We're going to do a little bit of extra highlight on the lettering now that I've got the pieces together. And make sure that if you want to know more about us, make sure that you subscribe, ring the bell, so that you'll be notified when we have new video content. We are always trying to do something fun and different. So join us on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of this pinkish orangish mix and a number 1/4 inch dome, and we'll go right through the middle. I'm going to start in the middle. You need to use a dome brush that is smaller than the area that you're going to be highlighting in so that you can get a fade. That's why that worked up here on the horns, is because I had a brush small enough to be doing the edges. So you need small brushes as well as big brushes. Okay, so that pulls those colors in together. Now let's highlight it. Let's get into, I think we're gonna need a little bit of the orange. So get in there just a little bit of glazing some of that orange. Okay, and now just a little bit, go into my round brush, and I'll do a mix, I'll brush mix. So when I want to tone a color down, I'll brush mix just a little bit of the color that was the highlight in with the highlight color. And then we'll just kind of streak down here. All right, here is our final product. I hope that you guys had so much fun learning how to do the fur and all the techniques with this project. If you want to see more, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next video.